If you're planning a trip to Walt Disney World, pause for a moment, because you're seconds away from saving yourself from the mistakes that quietly ruin thousands of vacations every single week. This isn't the usual don't forget sunscreen list. These are the real insider level pitfalls, the ones I've watched families tumble into over and over again after years of exploring Disney parks. One wrong move at Disney World doesn't just inconvenience you, it can completely derail your day. After dozens of Disney cruises and park visits, I've experienced Disney at its most magical and learned the small things that can quietly make or break a trip. In this episode, we're diving into 17 things you should never do in Disney World, based on official policies and hard-earned wisdom. You'll hear the why behind each tip, insider tactics to keep your family happy, and a few surprises along the way. We'll move fast. I'll lay out the ground rules, tell you what to avoid, and hint at the danger of ignoring even one. Miss one of these, and you could spend your days frustrated, hot, and even turned away at the gate. Now, let's start with the biggest mistake guests make before they even get to the parks. Number 1. Never show up without a plan. Disney World is massive. 4 theme parks, 2 water parks, dozens of resorts, and crowds that fluctuate by the minute. I know it's tempting to book a flight to Orlando and just wing it, but Disney World isn't a walk-up carnival. Even longtime guests like me map out our day. As of January 9th, 2024, theme park reservations were removed for date-based tickets. However, annual pass holders still need reservations, and parks can reach capacity. If you walk in late in the morning assuming you'll just figure it out, what you'll actually figure out is how quickly the wait times hit triple digits. You don't need a rigid schedule, but you do need an outline. Know which rides matter most. Understand lightning lane availability. Check the refurbishments and park hours. Download the My Disney Experience app and use it. A little prep saves hours of wandering in circles while your patience and your feet slowly disappear. Number 2. Never cram your day like you're training for a marathon. Walt Disney World is the size of a small city, not a Six Flags. You will not do it all. I've watched families try to squeeze 20 attractions, 2 parades, multiple dining reservations, fireworks, and resort time into a single day. By late afternoon, they're sunburned, dehydrated, and silently regretting everything. There's nothing that screams tourist like sprinting from Space Mountain to Splash Mountain with a laminated list. Oh man. Remember, Walt Disney World covers over 40 square miles and has 4 major parks. Overplanning leads to exhaustion and meltdowns. Instead, prioritize your must-do experiences and sprinkle in spontaneous magic. Character meet and greets, atmospheric entertainment, or simply strolling down Main Street, USA. The happiest guests in Disney World always have something in common. They build in breathing room. They enjoy a shaded bench in Adventureland, split a snack in Galaxy's Edge, or take their kids back to the resort to swim. When you leave space in your day for calm moments, spontaneous magic has room to show up. Number 3. Never underestimate Florida heat. The heat in Orlando isn't just warm, it's sneaky, aggressive, and unforgiving. You'll walk 8 to 10 miles a day without realizing it. Most people don't notice the dehydration setting in until their head starts spinning. Bring a refillable water bottle. Use the free ice water available at quick service locations. Don't rely on sugary snacks to hold you over. And remember, glass containers and outside alcohol are not allowed in the parks. That fancy bottled lemonade or just one drink you packed for Epcot? Security will send you right back to your car or resort or have you throw it away. Hydration is a strategy at Disney World. The people who manage it well make it to fireworks. The people who don't usually tap out by lunchtime. Number 4. Never skip the midday break. Veteran Disney fans know this rule by heart. The park is best in the morning and the evening. The middle of the day is a gauntlet. The hottest weather, the longest lines, and the crankiest crowds. You will see more meltdowns, not just from children, between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. than the rest of the day combined. If you love watching chaos unfolds, find a nice shaded area for some entertaining people watching while various groups crash out under the midday sun. It's still a break. For everyone else, go back to your resort, swim, nap, shower, recharge. Then return refreshed when the sun goes down and the magic reignites. You don't lose time by leaving. You gain energy, patience, and a second wave of joy for nighttime shows and shorter lines. If you choose to stay in the parks instead, consider getting out of that long, slow-moving queue and spending a relaxing time in an air-conditioned attraction like Carousel of Progress, the Hall of Presidents, or the TTA People Mover in Magic Kingdom. Catch a show in one of the World Showcase pavilions if you're in Epcot. There are plenty of places throughout the parks to slow down, cool off, and take a break when everyone else is trying to push through their fatigue or trapped in a queue with a long wait. Number 5. Never sit on the ground in a queue or walkway. This is one of Disney's least known but most strictly enforced rules. You cannot sit on the ground in any walkway or attraction queue, including Lightning Lane. Disney has this rule for a reason. Sitting creates a tripping hazard, slows the line down, and honestly, the ground is not your friend. Tens of thousands of shoes, sticky spills, dropped snacks, and protein spills, and even mystery puddles do not make a welcoming surface. Ugh. Many people will try to sit while waiting for a parade or fireworks show. Keep in mind that you're surrounded by a large group of people too, and getting trampled by them is not a great way to spend your time in the happiest place on earth. Cast members will ask you to stand, and in some cases, they'll stop the line until the walkway is clear. If you need a break, shift your weight, lean on a handrail, or plan your day to avoid being trapped in a long queue while your legs beg for mercy. Just don't sit, ever. Number 6. Never save spots or cut in line. Disney World has a strict no-cutting policy, and enforcement has ramped up recently. No, my family is up there. No weaving past rows of guests. No holding a place for 10 people while they get snacks. You enter the line together, you wait together, you ride together. If someone needs to leave the queue, the group should wait until they return. This rule exists for fairness, flow, and safety. Cutting in line creates tension faster than anything else in the parks. Cast members can and do intervene. So avoid the awkwardness, avoid the confrontation, avoid the angry stares from 60 people who watched you squeeze by them. Now, before we move on, here's one thing you should do. Keep more money in your pocket. Disney tickets are expensive, but there's a legit insider way to save. Undercover Tourist sells real authentic Disney World tickets at a discount. No gimmicks, just lower prices. They're an authorized seller. I've used them myself, and you can click the link in the description to check the latest deals. Number 7. Never run in the parks. Ever. If you've ever been in the parks right at rope drop, you've seen it. A wave of excited guests speed walking so aggressively it should count as an Olympic event. And every now and then, someone breaks into a full sprint towards Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or Flight of Passage, thinking it'll get them ahead of the crowd. It won't. Cast members immediately stop runners and redirect them, and in some cases, they'll escort guests out of the area altogether. Running creates collisions, knocks over kids, and is one of the fastest ways to injure yourself on vacation. Walk briskly, stay alert, follow the cast member's direction, and remember, Disney rope drop is organized chaos by design. You don't need to outrun everybody, you just need to move smartly and safely. The people who get hurt are the ones trying to shave off 30 seconds. It's never worth it. Number 8. Never feed or harass the wildlife. Disney World is home to more wildlife than people realize. Ducks, rabbits, herons, squirrels, lizards, and occasionally a rogue turkey that decides to wander through Epcot like he owns the place. They're adorable, they're memorable, but they're not hungry for your popcorn, pretzels, or leftover French fries. Feeding wildlife disrupts their diet and encourages aggressive behavior, and Disney takes this extremely seriously. Cast members step in immediately when they see it happening, and yes, repeated or intentional harassment of animals can lead to removal from the park. This rule is about safety, conservation, and respect. Admire the animals, take pictures, smile at the ducks waddling in formation, but don't feed them, chase them, or pick them up. Yeah, people try. Let the magic be magical and the animals stay wild. Number 9. Never use flash photography or bright screens in dark attractions. Dark rides like Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, Rise of the Resistance, and Remy's Ratatouille Adventure rely on controlled lighting to tell a story. The minute someone takes a flash photo, the illusion snaps like a cheap glow stick. Animatronics wash out, other guests get blinded. Entire scenes look suddenly plastic. Flash photography isn't just discouraged, it's often prohibited, and cast members will stop the ride audio to make reminders if guests repeatedly ignore the rule. Phones held high with full brightness are nearly as bad. If you want to record a POV, and many guests do, turn the brightness all the way down, stabilize your phone, and never use the flash. The best videos and photos are captured discreetly, not disruptively, and your fellow riders will quietly thank you. Number 10. Never wear offensive clothing or full costumes if you're over 14. Disney parks are meant to be family-friendly, and the dress code rules reflect that. Any clothing with explicit wording or graphics can get you denied entry or asked to change. But the rule that catches even more guests off guard is the costume restriction. Anyone 14 and older cannot wear a full costume except at special ticketed events like Mickey's Not-So-Scary Halloween Party. Adults can Disney-bound, meaning you dress inspired by a character using everyday clothing, but you cannot wear character attire that could confuse guests, especially children. Masks are also prohibited for anyone over 14 unless medically required. Disney takes character integrity seriously, it's part of the magic. If you violate the dress code, cast members will quietly pull you aside and ask you to change, cover up, or purchase an alternate shirt. It's polite but firm, and yes, people get turned away at the gate for ignoring this. Number 11. Never bring prohibited items, especially the ones guests forget about. A lot of guests assume prohibited items means weapons or blatantly dangerous objects, and yes, those are absolutely banned. But the list is much longer, and Disney enforces it strictly, especially since the 2023 and 2024 security system upgrades. Here are some of the items that surprise people the most. Selfie sticks and extendable camera poles are banned outright. Pepper spray, tasers, and self-defense devices? Absolutely not allowed. Toy guns or realistic weapon replicas, even brightly colored ones, are banned. Drones or remote-controlled devices? Immediate confiscation, and maybe even removal from the park. Wagon-style strollers cannot enter the parks. Loose ice in coolers. Bring your reusable ice packs only. Folding chairs. Yes, people try to bring these. No, they are not permitted. If it resembles a weapon, can extend into guest space, can fly, can roll, can be mistaken for a gun, or can cause a crowd blockage, it's banned. Security won't debate it. They'll direct you to return the item to your hotel or vehicle. Number 12. Never climb or sit on fences, rails, or rocks. This one can actually get you kicked out. This is a big one. The rule that surprises people the most has the most serious consequences. Disney guests climbing on fences or rocks is one of the fastest ways to spark a safety incident, and yes, one of the quickest ways to get escorted out of the parks. Those rocks in front of Cinderella Castle? Not for climbing. The walls around the Tree of Life? Not for seating. The fences near the lagoon in Epcot? Absolutely not for leaning over. Even those seemingly decorative rails in Galaxy's Edge? They're not props, they're barriers. Disney has zero tolerance for guests crossing boundaries, leaning too far into restricted areas, or climbing structures meant to keep people safe. You'll see guests removed quietly and efficiently while they ignore this rule, because Disney cannot risk an injury. Falling into a ride area, stumbling near water, or slipping off a rock could be catastrophic, and Disney's position is simple. If the barrier exists, there's a reason for it. If you want a perfect photo, find a safe spot, not a restricted one. There are hundreds of stunning vantage points at every park that don't put your safety and your ticket at risk. Before we jump into the final stretch of this list, there's something wildly important people don't realize about Disney World rules. We've talked about what you shouldn't do, but the next few items, they're the ones where even the most experienced Disney guests go, "Wait, seriously? That's a rule?" And the strangest part, these next mistakes aren't just oops moments, they're things guests do every single day without realizing they're even breaking a rule. You might be doing one of them right now without realizing it. So, brace yourself, we're about to level up. The final 5 rules include the most surprising, the most misunderstood, and one that even seasoned annual pass holders mess up constantly. Number 13. Never bring noisemakers, horns, or anything that disrupts the show. You'd be amazed how often this happens. A family celebrates a birthday or a reunion and thinks it'll be adorable to bring a party horn or a loud noisemaker into the parks. It feels fun in theory, and then you blow it in a quiet attraction queue and instantly become the villain in everyone else's Disney story. Disney explicitly prohibits artificial noisemakers, such as horns, whistles, megaphones, anything that creates an unexpected burst of sound. And it's not just about courtesy. Sudden noise can spook animals in Animal Kingdom, interrupt show audio, or ruin the pacing of stage performances. Even streetmosphere entertainers depend on controlled sound levels to deliver their routines. Want to celebrate? Sing, cheer, clap, hug, dance, wave your arms like inflatable tube guys. Go for it, but leave the noise devices at home. The magic works best when the soundscape matches the story. Number 14. Never bring oversized strollers or wagon-style strollers. Every parent wants to keep their kids comfortable, and Disney fully supports that, but within reason. The stroller rules exist because guest flow is one of the most important safety mechanisms in the park, and nothing jams a walkway faster than a wagon the size of a compact car. Disney bans stroller wagons entirely and places strict size limits on traditional strollers. If yours can't fit easily through a single doorway, it's not getting in. Too many guests show up with a giant jogging stroller or a wagon train setup that are shocked when security sends them back to the car or resort. Here's another part people forget. Cast members will continuously rearrange stroller parking to prevent crowding. If you leave a gigantic stroller behind, it may not exactly be where you left it because they're constantly tidying and condensing the area. If you need a stroller, either rent one from Disney, which always meets the size requirements, or use a leaner model. It keeps your family mobile and keeps the walkways clear, which helps everyone, including you. Number 15. Never smoke or vape outside designated areas. This rule is simple, strict, and enforced everywhere on Disney property. Smoking and vaping are only allowed in designated outdoor smoking areas. That includes cigarettes, cigars, pipes, e-cigs, and anything else that emits vapor or smoke. The most important thing to note regarding smoking at the parks is that these designated areas are outside of the main entrances to each park. That's right, there's no smoking inside the parks, and designated areas are limited to a few locations just outside the gates. Try to light up anywhere else, a walkway, a restroom entrance, a queue, and a cast member will shut it down instantly. At resorts especially, smoking on balconies can result in hefty cleaning fees and even removal from the property for repeat violations. Disney tightened this rule years ago to preserve air quality, guest safety, and comfort. If you need the designated smoking locations, they're clearly marked on the park maps. They're not hidden, you just have to commit to walking to them. And if you're tempted to just do it quickly behind that planter, trust me, someone will see it. Disney parks are the most observed environments in the world. Number 16. Never pack glass containers, loose ice, or folding chairs. There are three categories of items that seem harmless but create huge issues inside the parks. Glass containers are banned for safety. One drop and you're creating an injury zone in the middle of a walkway. Baby food jars are the only exception. Loose ice used to be allowed, but Disney removed it from the approved list because it slows down bag checks and spills everywhere. You can bring reusable ice packs or sealed bags, but no scoops of ice dumped into a cooler. And folding chairs, believe it or not, used to be a common thing guests brought for parade viewing. Now, completely banned. They block pathways, create tripping hazards, and slow crowd movement. If you want comfort while waiting for a parade or show, grab a curb, lean on a railing, or use your backpack as a cushion. The fewer bulky items you carry, the smoother your day goes. Number 17. Never treat Disney World like a regular theme park. This last one isn't a rule you'll find on a sign, but it's the reason Disney veterans shake their heads at so many frustrated guests. Disney World isn't a typical amusement park. It's not built around get in line, ride, leave. It's built around storytelling, pacing, theming, and emotional beats. When guests rush, cut corners, push boundaries, ignore cast members, or treat the parks as a checklist, they miss the entire point. The magic lives in the moments between the moments. It's in the background details Imagineers spent years designing. The way Main Street USA smells like vanilla. How the music loops change with your transition into another land, and especially how Disney cast members interact with you. The guests who get the most out of Disney World follow the rules not because they have to, but because they understand the rules exist to protect the atmosphere that makes the parks special. Disney isn't perfect, but there's a reason millions return year after year. It's a place built with intention. And when you play along, instead of trying to hack or fight the system, the magic shows up more often, more powerfully, and more personally. So, now you know all 17 things you should never do at Walt Disney World. Some protect your safety, some protect the magic, some protect your time, your patience, and your vacation budget. And all of them will help you have a smoother, more memorable trip, one where you don't get blindsided by a rule you didn't know existed. Now, it's your turn. Which of these surprised you the most? Have you ever seen someone break one of these rules in real time? Let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. And if this helps you plan your next Disney adventure, do me a huge favor. Like this video, share it with your Disney planning group, subscribe to Castle Compass for more insider tips, and tap the next video on your screen to keep the magic going. Your adventure is just beginning.